There we go. All right, everyone. I am trying to close down the sound because I have this someplace around me now. There we go. All right. Welcome, guys. It's time for another one of these live sessions here in the Growth Hackers Sweden group and on YouTube. And I actually added it to my feed as well, just to make sure that we get as many people in here as possible for today. So why this format came up, why Demo Day came about, was because I asked everyone in the Growth Hackers group, what is it that you want more of in this group? During the New Year's, probably New Year's Eve, I asked you that. And everyone, or almost everyone who said they wanted other things, they also wanted tools. So that one was a winner by a long shot. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to take up 4 tools, because what I asked you as well just in the beginning of the week was, what do you want? What kind of tools do you want to see? And marketing automation won by a landslide there as well. So I went out on LinkedIn and I went out with a public message asking for if there were any marketing automation tools that are GDPR compliant who wanted to present today. And so we managed to get 2 to want to join in. And we also have another tool, which is called Opinion Hut, or Designs as Opinion Hut. And I'm going to let Pavel explain what that is in a little bit, but it's about testing your content and ideas. And then we have apparel here as well with Martin, who is an influencer, a performance marketing or performance influencer marketing platform. And I am sure Martin is going to do a good job at explaining that. And I've actually pulled him into this meeting because I really think that this is important. And I'm very biased as well because I am involved in that company. So that's for transparency's sake. I hope that this will be a good hour for everyone. I'm going to leave over to Pavel, and I'm going to remove everyone else from stage. I'm going to remain here with my face, but Pavel is going to hold the controls for a while. So I hope this will be an enjoyable hour for everyone. So what we're doing today is that we are looking at different tools that you will be able to utilize as a growth hacker, or recommend other ones like your clients and things like that to utilize. So it will be a little bit pitchy, and I hope I've actually instructed people to sell their stuff to you. So, and you like that stuff. I know you do. So let's get to this now.
So, good morning, Jesper and everybody else. And thanks for having me on your show here. So I founded together with a colleague, Jens Amispull, a tool called Opinion Hut. And I'm going to demonstrate today the one is called designs.opinionhut.com, which we also had some help from a web agency called Bazooka in Stockholm with the UX for. And this service we created, it's for small businesses, growth hackers, entrepreneurs to get feedback on their ideas, any idea of a new design, new business, new business model. Which of these colors should I use on the website? Because the background is that both me and Jens, we worked for many years in the largest market research companies. So we helped large corporations to ask consumers about their branding, their campaigns, their new innovations. And we thought that also small companies would be interested in using a feedback tool, asking both consumers but also other small businesses. So we have this free service, which I'm going to show how it works now.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yes. So should I click or you click?
You click.
I click.
And then I'll bring it on stage.
Share screen. So is it on the show?
Yeah, everyone sees it.
Great. Okay. So this is the main front page, and as I said, this is just one vertical of several feedback sites we have. So we have one that is for music makers, evaluating and getting feedback on each other's music. There's one called Social Pics. You can evaluate your profile picture for LinkedIn. But this one is for small businesses and growth hackers. So when you use this tool, you basically have two options. You can upload your ideas and designs, or you can share your opinions on other people's ideas. So I'm going to start with looking at what's on there already. Share opinion on others' uploads. It gives you an idea of what you can find. Okay, so someone posted, what do you think about my design for a t-shirt? So this is some kind of climbing club. The resolution of the picture isn't great looking either. I'm going to put like, I miss some people climbing, and what about resolution? And I could write much more on this one. I'm going to move on. So I rate it. Okay, you can also upload YouTube videos. So here's somebody that uploaded their presentation.
So you want to start a business,
Okay.
but you're just not sure.
So he wants feedback on his presentation video, and I'm not going to watch all of that, but I think it was great. I watched it before, so I can put some feedback. I think it was great, but you are a little bit too pushy, and try to have another background, a bit boring background. So, but overall good. Okay, so I rate this one. Okay, and now it says that I can log in, because if I log in, I gain credits for every feedback I give, and I can use the credits to get feedback on my own ideas. So I'm actually going to sign in with my Google account. So yeah, I want to upload an idea as well. So I choose upload, and I have a logo I want to try and get feedback on. So this is a logo for an NGO. Do you think this is too traditional looking? I want to stand out from other NGO logos. Okay, and one thing that differs this service from posting on a forum is that you don't have to expose your design or idea to the whole internet, but it is only, if you want to, it's only shown to the people that rate it. So you can select that only 10 people will rate my idea, and that's the persons who will also see it. So instead of clicking this option where I allow this to be showed at the board or the front page, I will not click it. So that means when I post this, it can't be seen by anybody unless they are randomly selected in the queue with the ideas to test. Okay. So if I go back here, I won't see the thing I just posted. I will only see ideas from people who allowed to post on the front page. But I will be able, if I select share opinion on, so it will come in the stream but only for a few people. So you can keep your ideas quite secret if you don't want to expose them. A final thing I want to demonstrate is what it looks like, the feedback you get. So I go to my page, and here's the post I posted. So the logo is not yet rated, but I have, for instance, I had 2 versions of a logo I wanted to get feedback on. Which one of these ones should I choose? And people are telling me, one person, and I don't know who this person is because they weren't logged in, but they think that both alternatives are bland, but go for the left one. For people who are logged in, I can also tell their sex and age and where they are based. So they are telling me a little bit more about why to choose the right or the left logo. I have another idea here, a coffee subscription model. What should I charge for a coffee subscription in my cafe? I have regulars that buy many cups, but I don't want to lose money on them, but I want to attract new ones. So people are telling me, yes, this is a great cafe, try to charge this, and giving me different new ideas or options for this. So yeah, basically this is the tool. So I'd love to hear what you think about it and if you have any questions.
Yeah, so anyone who is watching from YouTube or Facebook, you can post the comments. And if you don't have any comments for now, you know, this is always the case with all of the sessions that we do in Growth Hackers. There are questions that come up later, and I think I heard some kind of whisper promise from Pavel to come in and respond to those questions if there are any. Then, if you have any questions now, I have a question around like so this would probably work for like, so any kind of user testing and insights that you need for something that you're about to do.
Yes.
So let's say it could be implemented into your like marketing tactic essentially when you are going to launch a new campaign. So I post something there, and then I'm like, okay, what do you think about this? And then people will be able to react to it, and it can be my start, like to have a transparent build up to my actual marketing campaign, something like that.
Yeah, so you get feedback on whether what you're planning to do could be improved, but because you have experienced people on here that tells you maybe you could change this and this and make your plan even better.
And so to all those companies who've been posting racist stuff online, if they would have posted it here before, they would have known that this stuff is inappropriate, and they probably would have been able to amend that before going live with those campaigns.
Yeah, they get some new perspectives that maybe they wouldn't have gotten internally.
No.
I mean, this is a way to do market research, but it's for free.
Yeah.
So you can do it even as a test before you perform your proper market research.
Yeah.
You can use this one as well.
How do you earn money?
Well, I told you that to get the feedback, you have to give a feedback. But
you're building a content loop.
Yeah, so it's basically if you don't want to give 40 feedbacks to get 40 feedbacks, you can buy yourself ahead of the queue. So you buy credits and not just earn the credits.
Right. Got that. All right. Thank you for the short presentation. And for those of you who are watching this like afterwards, just post your comment down here somewhere or up here or where it is. And we will take care of it and we will respond to that if you have any questions about how this works. Otherwise, check out Opinion Hut or designs.opinionhut.com. And I'm sure that you will be able to get your campaigns started. All right. Thank you, Pavel.
Thank you, Jesper.
Cheers. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring on Simplify. And I think we have 2 people who are from Simplify. And I think I know the name. I know Paul, right?
That's Paul.
That's
Hello.
Paul. And we have another person in the room, so to speak.
In the room, yeah. That's Robert.
Yeah.
We like
Tell us who you are.
Well, that's Paul Crisp.
Paul Crisp. I'm the CMO of Simplify Group. and this is my esteemed friend and colleague, Robert Kimber, who is in fact the CEO of the Simplify Group. So we thought, come in and hang out early in the morning.
Yeah,
like
great.
that.
So obviously we have a presentation. Should we share it so we can run through it?
Absolutely. Shall I just fire that up
It's a
now?
tight shift we're running it.
Please do, and I can bring it on stage.
All right, cool.
Got it. Okay.
So just kick this off while you deal with the technical stuff.
Okay.
So obviously we've been a company that's been working with marketing automation for quite some time, I would say. 20 years, which is in this world, I suppose, being more or less a grown-up, at least, because obviously we've done our teens and so on. So based on that, we've produced what we think is a really, really good tool that we want to present today.
Absolutely.
So obviously, just to bring sort of the general information about us as a company, Simplify, founded in 2000 in Sweden. So it's a Swedish fully owned company. We were founded as early as I would say that email marketing was sort of in the sort of beginning.
We kind of rose out of the ashes of the .com boom. So in that respect,
founding rate.
Exactly. The world's worst time to start a digital platform. But exactly, we went against the tide there. And I think pulled it up pretty nicely. He said the trivia, 2007 was our first marketing automation setup that we had.
And obviously, since we were a Swedish company, there wasn't a word invented for marketing automation at that time.
Today.
So I had to call it händelsestyrt. So that was just so sexy at all, I would say.
Exactly. Event steering.
That sounds awful.
Exactly. So obviously marketing automation today is
we
a need to have.
We can thank the English language for many good things. And I suppose this is one of them.
As always. Exactly. So we've grown kind of out of the Nordics, and obviously we've brought, as we've been very successful in the sense that, obviously many Swedish companies we work with have become international icons as well in many respects. So we've kind of been lucky enough to be a part of that journey as well, and obviously established us in other countries as well. So we're among others in Copenhagen, Montreal, Toronto, and quite a few others to name the very least. But which is what we like to hang our hat on.
Yeah, I think we to find a space in a crowded market space, it was important for us to find a spot that we were sort of making some kind of difference, I suppose. And obviously, in the market space, there are loads of different tools, but many of them we thought was too complex, made things too difficult, and were often it demanded a lot of consultancy to make things happen. So we wanted to produce a tool that gave the marketing sort of control back to the content creators and the people doing marketing, because otherwise marketing won't happen.
No, exactly. That's what we often say when we're kind of in these meetings with prospective customers, is that the ideas, the concepts, the executions that they want to make on their data set, they're already there. They're on the other side of the table. So the only thing they're lacking is a tool enabled to realize and actualize those actual kind of concepts that they have, which are nearly always extraordinarily successful. Whereas a lot of other tools that we felt that we were dealing with or competing with, very often part of their sort of pricing model is the kind of aftermarket sell, if you will, of consultancy and things like that. So we kind of, in a quite a sort of, how can you put it, sort of a more kind of equal setting, we believe that the people that were working with the tool were the ones that are able to actually demonstrate and illustrate and
I think also a fundamental difference was that obviously we are a company that we want to sell the product directly to the customer. We are not driven by a partner network. And obviously, if you compare the structure of this company to many of the competitors, you would see that most all of them are driven by a partner network. And the only way that the partner network will get some money in it would be the consultancy part. So it is a good thing that their tools are complex. But our tool, obviously, since we try to get through straight to the marketeers, we need to have a tool that doesn't take our resources at hand. And obviously that makes simplicity important, but still you should be able to do just as advanced things that you would with any more complex tool that people will foresee out there.
We could have one of those adverts on the internet. It's like marketing automation consultants hate them, find out why. And that's the reason. That's because we allow things like this. I'm just going to bump us along very quickly. And that is, in a sense, we believe, truly, and we believe that it's also illustrated by how CRM works. Every single customer experience and customer action is part of a wider journey. And that's why we've built today, we believe, one of the market's leading customer lifecycle management platforms, which is our Journey Builder. So as you can see, we're running through here kind of quite quickly of what the internal tool would look like. And it really is super simple to kind of put together exactly what you feel a customer journey should be. Because one thing we joke about a lot internally, just for the full transparency, I come from a B2C CRM background as well, is that in every office, everyone has that whiteboard where everyone writes up the first 30 days of a user. What should they have? And then kind of everyone adds blocks and kind of lines drawing all together. Somebody takes a picture with their phone and then emails it to everyone. And the journey then never gets built because either it's too complex or, they're not sure about a visualization of how it should work. We've done away with that, and we want people to know exactly where their customers are based exactly on the data that the customer is feeding back to them and the data that they're putting into their Simplify instance. So we're extraordinarily happy with this.
Yeah. So just to clarify, it is a tool that obviously, there we go. How do we make it simple? I mean, what is sort of the key components to doing that? And obviously, one of the key elements in that is the Journey Builder, but obviously the editors as well. So in our case, there's one editor to use, is one database, is one rule engine. And obviously that serves lots of channels. So by using our tool, you can actually reach out in 10 different channels with one editor and one database and one rule engine. And that is quite unique. And it makes it really, really comprehensive and strong for the marketeers to be able to execute things.
Absolutely. Just to give you a super simple use case, within 10 seconds, if somebody doesn't open an SMS, then we can automatically send them an app push. So in that respect, you can get this sort of channel hierarchy, which is completely connected within the infrastructure of your actual Simplify instance.
And obviously, one of the key elements in this invite was actually to
GDPR
compliant as well, which is obviously two words that we want to put together sometimes. So, and I think one of the things that we need to mention in this case is obviously the Schrems 2 ruling that was the summer of 2020.
It came out in the world's most crowded news zone with a pandemic and a presidential election.
So people missed it a lot. And I think the big and maybe a scary change that happened there is that a lot of the things that we relied upon to use tools changed. And obviously there's changes to that made us consider what we did with our products. So we had to scramble resources to figure out what we should change to once again be a compliant product. So one of the key elements in this was actually, where do we store personal data? And obviously we are a Swedish company, but we were using American cloud services to serve our product to our customers. And we've been quite happy with it. We like those products. They are great systems. But one of the things in the ruling made that difficult because storing personal data on American entities, even if it's on European soil, was a problem as far as we could see it, as far as lawyers were saying. So we changed the product in a way that made it a multi-cloud solution. So in this case, to ensure 100% GDPR compliance, we have now a solution that makes all the personal data stored in a solely European entity, no ties to any other foreign country in that sense. That makes sort of the private and personal data of our customers secure from any outreach or insight from everyone else.
Any passover of any other border apart from a European border. So we feel we can hand on heart say that we are fully GDPR compliant in a post-Schrems 2 world. It was interesting exactly that Schrems 2 didn't make quite the impact when it was released in the summer because Facebook switches off a news feed in Australia and it makes literally the front page of every single thing. And
I suppose the Schrems 2 ruling, it is a way to look at data from a protection point of view, and I think it's important that anyone that has personal data stored anywhere should read upon what actually that ruling entails, because it is a major change, I would say.
Absolutely. So we just decided to bring up obviously GDPR, as that was one of the Jasper very kindly kind of asked us, and that was one of the specific things that were mentioned. So let us bump along to our.
Yeah, so obviously, when we said one editor, one database, and one rule engine, obviously, if you have that serving those 10 channels here, that makes it tangible for a marketer to actually reach out in these channels. Just to make an example, if you can create an email with our editor, that means that you are building it with building blocks to produce an email campaign, for example. You can, in our tool, build a print, a physical print. And obviously, lowering the bar from relieving anyone from going into Adobe, either Photoshop or what's more tools you would use?
God, there's unending tools, but I know with print it's extraordinarily complex, and not only that, they're doing a campaign print. I've been the one that's had to run to the printers with a USB stick, and there's always
so in this case,
when there's a
same
typo.
tool, it personalizes the same way. You can actually get click statistics on print, which is actually really a fun feature and quite unique, I would say.
Exactly. So print could typically be a part of a customer journey, for instance, the very last step. If a customer doesn't validate and you try every other method to actually get them to update their personal details, you could finally send them a print piece home with a QR code. They just scan straight into the page.
Right.
One other really fun item is a birthday card.
Yeah.
We have customers that send birthday cards home. I think that's very sweet instead of just an email. Sorry, Jesper, you were going to jump in there.
No, it was just that I was like, so click data on print, interesting, and then you explained it, so I was like, okay.
Oh,
All right.
okay. Yeah, exactly.
We're working against the clock now, so we'll try to wrap it up also. Obviously, on top of this, to make everything easy, because handling 10 channels will keep you awake if you haven't the tools to help
keep you busy. Yeah.
So we use AI to find anomalies in your customer journeys. We also use churn prevention, so we can find which channels are started to underperform. So we can use the cleverness of AI to find where to put your efforts, and that will enlighten you as a marketer what things you need to do. I'm really talking quickly now.
But I noticed that for a split second ago, but I think I slowed you down a bit with the print and the birthday card.
The birthday card was good.
It gave you a warm and fuzzy feeling, which is always nice. So that's essentially what we feel that Simplify really achieves in terms of what is standout for the crowd. That is an enormous channel choice, an omni-channel approach with channel hierarchy factored into that, and obviously then the journey builder.
And just to summarize, to the USPs for this product, we have a communication product. That's the one we talked about today.
Marketing automation.
Yeah, and obviously on top of this, we have a CRO tool, a conversion product, and that makes everything quite nice because they are integrated. So you can use these two tools into sort of interlaced with each other. And that makes the conversion more dynamic because you can use the data that the conversion tool actually brings to you. So that is an addition to your marketing automation. And just the final slide. This is the three sort of pillars that we are sort of standing upon: the communication, conversion, and pitch flow. And you sort of add on to our product deck. But we will actually have another talk about that another day.
Exactly. But that's so we feel that the secret is in the name, even though it's exactly a Y instead of an I. But that's truly what we do. We keep it as simple as possible and negate the use for expensive consultants when you're building a world-class customer journey.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, guys. I think there was some I think I find it kind of or not kind of, but I find it really interesting that we can run both in terms of more physical marketing tactics, maybe connected to sales activation, and also is it possible to bring in other types of data sets, like external data sets in terms of search volumes and things like that, to trigger activities, or is this something that
the cool thing with when we acquired this conversion tool, it added a totally new dimension to everything, because obviously it was keeping a really good track on what's happening on the website. So with that data, you can actually initiate customer journeys based on behavior on your website. So this is brings sort of a full view of that individual that's visiting the website, what they're doing, on top of obviously the marketing strategies of all the CRM data you typically get from your CRM site.
Exactly. Cool. Content segmenting in front of the line instead of sort of behind the line when the user's already interacted with it via marketing automation or communication. So it's an enormously exciting product that's kind of dovetailed beautifully into kind of our marketing automation offering.
Sounds great. I'm gonna check it out a little bit more. I am happy that you guys joined, and I hope that you stick around in the group as well on Facebook.
Will do.
Just answer some questions, because there are a lot of questions that pop up, and since you are, at least one of you is Swedish, and they have the translation, but the translations in terms of growth questions is sometimes a little bit sketchy.
Yeah,
so
fun, isn't it?
So-
It becomes like a typical weird thing.
Exactly. I'm actually obviously English, but I can speak Swedish, so that's not an issue. And it's an incredible Tony Irving impression, if necessary.
Okay.
I can do that as well. Thank you so much for your time,
thank you.
Jesper. Thank you
Thanks,
for tuning
Thanks,
in.
guys. Yeah. All right. So that was Simplify, and they presented their marketing automation tool. Now I am a little bit rusty, as you might see from this, but I actually forgot to do one of the most important things to start getting people to comment at all, and that is to have a warm-up question that is kind of simple to do. So if you're watching right now, I actually want you to go in and I want you to say hi to Martin from Apparel in the comments. So if you're watching right now, because Martin is the next one who comes up to present here, so if you're watching, I want you to try it out, to write something in the comments, because it's not that scary. And once we get over that threshold, we sort of generally in these groups, we start commenting more. So here is Martin from Apparel. Hi, Martin. Good morning. Oh, unmute yourself.
Hi, Jesper. Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good to hear.
So I'm going to leave it to you to kick it off, and people are hopefully going to start saying hi to you if they dare writing in the comments or in the chat on YouTube. We'll see about that. But yeah, go ahead and start presenting what you have planned.
Yes, sure. Thanks, Jesper. And yeah, hi to everyone. I hope I get any answers back. Yeah, there was one, I think. So yeah, thanks for bringing us on here. I was planning to do like a very product focused demo here, which I'm still going to do, but not in the actual product, because we typically demo the product with the latest features, or with using a client account that has approved, but obviously we cannot log into a client account right now. So I will go through how the product works. And I mean, the backstory is basically that, well, influencer marketing is the fastest growing marketing channel in the world, basically. And if you look at all the world's fastest growing brands today, what they have in common is that they work with influencer marketing at scale in a systematic way to drive sales. But this takes a lot of resources to do. So you have to have a lot of people to do that, which could actually pay off, especially a couple of years back. But now the competition is so fierce for working with influencers. So that's why we created Apparel to enable e-commerce brands to find high converting influencers, collaborate more efficiently, and track what's actually working in a way that doesn't require an army of interns, if you will. Yeah, I mean, I'll get going and share my screen here. All right, here we go. All right, can you see this? Hello?
Yep.
Good. So yeah, we and I think also the key word of this slide, we empower e-commerce brands to succeed with their influencer partnerships through data and digital tools, I think is e-commerce. Because if you're an e-commerce company, you do have other needs than the typical solutions out there. I mean, essentially how influencer marketing typically works is that you pay a fixed fee for a content on a social platform, and it's not entirely clear what that generates in terms of sales, right? So the way you would like to work as an e-commerce company is to, drive sales to all your products all the time and understand which products are actually driven by which post and by which creator in which channel. And you also want to, as a data-driven brand, well, pay not just a fixed fee for content, but pay for performance, more in line with how you pay for when you do Google advertising or Facebook. So we saw a different, totally different kinds of needs for e-commerce brands than the current solution in influencer marketing. So we have our head office in Stockholm. We have a commercial team in London. We also have an office in Sao Paulo, both with development and commercial. Actually, our clients are mostly brands in the Nordics, but almost as many out in Europe now, who are working international with our platform. So they're working with creators in US, Asia, and Europe. We offer our software both as like self-service, so an increasing number of brands use the tools kind of themselves, but we do also offer services to go with it if you want to. So I'll kind of jump right into, so what we're solving for brands again is finding influencers, collaborating, tracking, and optimizing what you do with influencers in a very data-driven and sales-driven way, right? So before you start working with Apparel, what you do is you connect your e-commerce platform to our platform. That means that we will track all the sales that is coming through us, and we import your products to your product feed to our platform. So we have a lot of data about your products, and if there's traffic driven to a specific type of product, for example, you can easily invite your own influencers by having them sign up to your program to Apparel. And when you do so, you're offering them the Apparel for Influencers suite of tools, which is basically where we started our company to build the world's greatest tool for influencers to use. So in this tool, influencers can discover products. We've developed a recommendation engine so every day you get new product recommendations based on all the data that's happening throughout our network. You have a range of tools to monetize your different channels. If you have a web channel, which is where we started, you can create shops and product widgets. But of course, today it's mostly social media, so you can easily create links from Chrome or Safari or our app or so on. And you can get real-time insights into what type of products are my audience kind of engaging with and buying right now. So once you've done that, you're setting up your kind of base commissions, very similar to an affiliate, which you would do in an affiliate network. But here you can do like a combination of a CPA. So you can, for example, here a 15% CPA. So that's 15% of cost per order. And you can also input cost per click budgets per channel if you want. I'm coming back to that concept a bit later. So you start off with finding creators, where you can both kind of see on our opted in creators, the ones that are already using our platform. You can see a lot of data about, their performance, what type of products they are typically performing well to, what price points they are typically performing well to, and so on. Now we're going over to GIF land here. So it's going to go a bit quickly here. We're going to look at, like, if you want to engage with an influencer here, you will find them in our search here. So here's a glimpse of the data you're getting. And then you can, at an individual influencer, you can input a budget, for example, a cost per click budget, to set that between date 1 and 2. And then you can set the actual limit for that budget. So this would be an alternative into just paying 4,000 euros for a content piece. You can pay that in a cost per click way, for example, and you can then because then you know how much you should pay. And then we have other ways of kind of collaborating with creators is that we have an online messaging, basically, so you can kind of agree on and suggest campaigns, and it goes both ways. Creators can also contact you through the platform if you allow them to do so. a more sophisticated way of communicating is to do gifting requests. So we've built a tool specifically for this because it's something that has been requested both from our brands and our creators. Where the benchmark for this is typically you work with a PR agency or in-house team, and you kind of gift products to influencers that you think is a good brand match. We kind of turned that a bit on its head. Here we instead let creators ask brands for gifting, and then you can approve or reject those requests, and then you get the shipping details, or you can send the voucher and so on. And that's working fantastically well. We're really solving a problem here for just handling that logistics. And then of course you can see what are the results. You can see in real time the sales that is getting generated, cost of sale, conversion rates, and so on. And also you can look per influencer. You can see audience overlaps, other data such as which are the recent top products, and so on. Animation goes on here down to looking at which of your products are performing the best right now, and are you selling the most from, which channels are performing. And you can also see which content is getting created. So as content gets created, whether that be YouTube videos or Instagram posts, that comes up on your dashboard, so you don't have to look around for it, and it gets saved for you. So you can kind of there's always some person in the team who can't believe it's true. They don't have to stay up all weekend to kind of take snapshots of Instagram stories anymore. So that was a really quick demo of the product. This is how to get in touch with us. Apparel.com if you want to request a demo or learn more at our blog, or just get in touch with me for any questions or so. The product is typically used by, either by an in-house team, but also increasingly by agencies who are helping their brand, helping clients to manage Facebook and Google. This is also a tool for them to deploy budgets and work with influencers in a way that is very data driven and efficient.
Cool. Right. Thanks, Martin. And
sure.
So I think we actually do have a question here, or one of these Facebook user because of privacy asks how many monies per month.
So that depends, right? We don't. It depends on your needs. We have brands paying from 1,000 euros a month up until 7,000 euros a month, depending on your size, your market could be, and so on. We do have like a starter, like a limited starter program. So we have some slots that you can get in at a lower price, because it's a brand that we want to work with. So get in touch and we'll see what we can do.
Cool. And in terms of, like, from my perspective, and I am a little bit biased here, not a little bit, but I truly love this stuff. It gives you the kind of data, and it builds your relationship with the influencer as well at the same time. So that is something that most people believe, that influencers are distribution channels, or that when I'm around talking, they're talking about the reach all the time and things like that. But it's like nurturing a relationship, and like being good at hospitality as a brand in terms of building relationships with influencers is just so powerful, because you get so much for free then if you have a true friend of your brand who is working for you and getting paid to be able to work more for you. And so because of the transparency in this tool, it's just like, you get what you need in order to build that relationship, and also motivate it up in your organization, and whilst having time to spend with this person. So that's why I really, really, really enjoy this. But do you have anything final you want to say, Martin, or should I let Robin?
I think what we're seeing is, just like we still do think in some cases it is relevant to pay for content and pay for reach, because that's also part of the funnel. But what we have seen during this like pandemic especially is that also influencers understand the value of knowing what types of products they're good at driving sales to. So they like this performance data, and you get this aligned kind of alignment with brands. So no, I mean, happy to answer any questions afterwards. Yeah, thanks so much.
Cool. So stick around in the comments. I will post the YouTube link as well, because I believe that there are a lot of people watching from there. So if you guys have any questions, please post them in the comments, or if you're watching this afterwards, post them in the comments, and Martin or some of the other presenters will be there to answer them for you. So I'm going to bring in our final presenter for the day, which is Rob. And I think that it's not, it's kind of suitable for everyone watching to say hi to Rob as well. So just as you did to Martin, let's warm up that comment fingers with a little bit of posting a hi to Rob. There is a little bit of delay, so those highs will come in as you start presenting, Rob. But hi, welcome.
Thanks, Jesper. Yeah, last but not least. Thanks.
No, most definitely not.
Yeah. So as Jesper said, Rob here, Rob Jones from a company called Klaviyo in marketing automation. Super interesting talk there as well from Martin. That's relevant. Klaviyo is in the e-com space. We're e-com D2C focused. So yeah, I think my partner team might be reaching out to you, Martin. That sounds really relevant. I enjoyed that talk. In terms of today, what we'll be talking about, I'm going to look at this as a perspective of where do we stand in the market? And if you were going to recommend it to someone, how would you do so? So I will be quite forward with it. I hope you appreciate that style. But if you did recommend us, we're probably not going to be as forward. We'd be more consultative in that sense. I'm going to share my screen with everyone first as well. I had to go into the other room, so I don't have two screens as this streaming service really tested my home Wi-Fi. So can you actually see my screen? Is that showing?
That is showing.
Excellent. I'm going to dot between a few screens, but message should all be there. So yeah, Klaviyo is a marketing automation platform, omni-channel marketing automation platform, really focusing in that D2C e-com space. We have been since the beginning. As you can probably imagine, with what's happened in the past year or so, the e-commerce space, the D2C space has just accelerated. Every brand I speak to now is coming in pretty much with the same message of, our online traffic soared. We're getting more people online than ever. We're getting probably more sales. But where I think marketing automation comes in is brilliant. You're getting all this traffic, getting all these new people. And if you just do one sale and then they go again, what have you really won? Loyalty now is not really a word in e-commerce. So many new businesses popping up, so many new options popping up that the consumer isn't very loyal. So I think where marketing automation comes in is how do we capture those people to begin with? How do we get all their data? How do we utilize that data? And how do we create better relationships? So in layman, marketing automation is just a trigger of an event. It's something happening because of an event. And the more events you can get in your platform, the more data you can get in your platform, the more personal those triggers can be. So unfortunately, I think this world has been optimized by personalization, right? Facebook, Google, Amazon, Netflix, Spotify. They've primed the B2C or the D2C audience to expect it. So if you're now a brand that's trying to communicate with people and you don't deliver a hyper level of personalization, you stand out in the wrong way, stand out like a sore thumb. So what Klaviyo wants to do is make it really easy for brands of any size to get that data into one place to then utilize it. Because you can talk about marketing automation all day, but if there's no triggers, there's no automation. If you're not triggering off actual real life events, then what are you really doing? You're sending campaigns with a delay. So I'll jump into a presentation view and let me know if you lose this at any point. So this is typically where we come in. It's the movement. So in the Nordic markets, people usually moving off tools like Rule, Apsys. Email platforms that don't have this level of data digestion or automation. Nordic market's big. I work a lot in there. Some of the clients, Footway, Naked.com, that'd be some of the ones I've worked with, but we've got a huge European team, so there'd be all shapes and sizes. I work with some of the larger clients, but then again, a lot of my colleagues who work with startups all the way up to those larger companies, like Unilever, Procter and Gamble, but then some mom and pop stores that are just trying to get started but want to do more with their email. So this is usually where we come in. It's where they might have a platform that's trying to do their marketing automation. They might have a centralized or siloed data streams where they're holding basically properties or events or actions. And then they might be trying to do analytics through GA or other platforms, and usually try and get all of that information to do a marketing campaign. And that can be pretty tough. So what people usually end up doing is thinking, they have all these ideas of, imagine if we could do this in a campaign, imagine if we could bring that data, imagine if we could trigger off that. But by the time you've spoken to IT, by the time you've pulled it in from another source, by the time you've actually segmented your database, you're like, let's just push out the campaign. It needs to go by tomorrow. And we can get lazy in our marketing. So where Klaviyo comes in is to unify all that into a centralized place. So we do that by having I think it's definitely considered a disruptor in this space, and it causes a lot of concern for more older platforms. We come up against the likes of Amarsys, Salesforce, bigger platforms with sterner architecture where you can't really get data in very quickly. It takes a long time to optimize that back end with that back end to match properties, to build events. Whereas Klaviyo, I won't get too technical, but it's a NoSQL architecture, which basically means it's schemaless. So we can push in any data. You don't have to optimize Klaviyo first. Push that data in from any source and we'll populate it. So what that ends up doing is you have an account like Klaviyo that's just sucking in data from multiple sources. And our engineers have gone even further and pre-made a lot of integrations. So any e-com platform you can probably think of, we have an out-of-the-box integration with. Social, we have out-of-the-box integrations with. Retail point of sale system, shipping systems, logistics, loyalty tools. So you can just push all these sources into Klaviyo. Again, why do you want to do that? Well, the more sources you have, the more we can trigger. So this is where we kind of end up, is every single person that the company is going to be communicating with would have a full database tracking. So even tools that Martin was talking about there, if you could push that data into Klaviyo, social data, like I say, retail data, on-store data. In this day and age, if you're making budget decisions, resource decisions, timing decisions, and you're not using data to make those decisions, then you're risking your growth ultimately. So if we can get that into one place and we can start to utilize it, not just in reporting, but in marketing, this is where we end up. So Julian would be a contact. I can see what's he looking for online, what's he signing up for on email, what's he clicking on, when was he last active, what kind of particular products is he interested in. So we start to utilize all this. What's he bought? How much has he spent? And we start to guess, right, who are our most important customers? Who are the people that prefer this product to this product? When was the last time they bought something? When are they expected to buy something again? Klaviyo is like an untiring, unrelentless salesperson. So if you had a store and your customers walked in, it'd be like your salespeople have that magic gift if they could see over that person's head. Okay, when did they last come to the shop? What did they browse over? How much did they spend? What else are they looking for? So then I can walk over to them, suddenly I can deliver that message. It's exactly what Klaviyo is doing, but with your marketing. It's delivering that message using all that data. when you've got all that data, we can just piece that together in a lifetime journey where we just say, right, someone's done something, let's react. And this is the key. If you don't know what they've done, then there's no point in having automation. So this is why we want to make it as easy as possible to get as much data into Klaviyo as possible as we can to have those flows.
So can I just ask you? Sorry, but I need to ask you a question. So this is as far as I understand from you, this is a pretty straightforward process to get to this point, or is this something that requires a ton of analysis and thinking?
It depends really on your previous setup, but yeah, if you've got a simple tool like Apsys, Rule, Mailchimp, you could migrate over to Klaviyo in half an hour. If you're connected to an e-com store like Salesforce Marketing Cloud, Magento, Shopify, BigCom, WooCom, you could have all that data in Klaviyo in 20 minutes. So it's speed to revenue, speed to value is literally, we want revenue in 60 minutes with Klaviyo. We want you to be able to get started, have flows within 60 minutes if you're on those platforms. If not, and we need to do some customization or some custom work, then yeah, you might be talking more like days than hours.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about that speed to revenue. I think that's where we'd come in, is the fact that just shouldn't have to be that complicated. If you are in this space, you don't really need to have a huge team or huge developers to do it. What can we do to get it quicker? And then everything we do inside the platform is built around that D2C or e-commerce environment. So we have a full AI platform that starts to predict patterns for you. The more data you put in, the more Klaviyo will read that for you. So it can actually start to predict when are people likely to purchase, when are people likely to churn. Dermalogica, the skincare brand, they've changed the whole way they do their business using Klaviyo simply by looking at predictive date of next order and now having countdowns that go to that. So my mom, who maybe buys a night cream off them every 2 weeks, compared to maybe myself that gets some moisturizer every 3 months, we're suddenly spoken to completely differently because Klaviyo is predicting our expected dates of next orders and counting us down in a whole new way. So these are some of the ideas we can do with data. But I think if you had any customers in that e-com space or D2C space, Klaviyo would be a consideration of how do we start to utilize our data to be more effective in our communication and build more personalization. Just right on time on the 10-minute mark. So yeah, I appreciate everyone listening. I don't know if there's any questions. I haven't actually been in the chat, so I'm just going to stop sharing my screen.
No, I just, yeah. Thanks. No, there are no questions asked for now, but I'm sure there will be questions later. And if I interpret you correctly, and I think that that's a pretty cool upside to this, is the way that I can pour data in it and then just start getting some recommendations, as far as I understand it. Like the engine starts telling me stuff. So
yeah, exactly. It's pretty much a pre-made tool ready to go. So you connect your data and Klaviyo starts to configure your data for you and tell you where the biggest holes are in your marketing strategy.
Yeah. And is that very expensive, or what's the pricing model here? Yeah,
priced on the size of your database. So the bigger the company, the bigger the database, the more money we can make off it. So it's based on the size of your database. So starting at $20 for 100 contacts and going up to thousands of dollars for hundreds of thousands of contacts per month.
Cool. And how would you say, like a normal user, how much time do you spend in the tool and how much time do you spend in terms of creating content for it? Is it?
Yeah, I suppose how many ideas have you got for your content? 3 things we'd look at is an abandoned cart, a welcome series, and a browse abandonment flow. Yeah. If you can create content for those 3 flows, you can leave Klaviyo on, and Klaviyo will be an ROI tool. Yeah. Quite simply, those 3 flows alone will generate revenue or pay for itself. So that's where we want everyone to start. Obviously, we can develop and we can do some of those more clever ideas, but yeah, if you've got those 3 flows on, you're going to be in a good starting position.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, man. I haven't received any comments now, but I'm sure there will be some later. And stick around in the Growth Hackers group, and we'll have the opportunity to answer some questions, even to those who do not watch the whole session here, because there are questions about marketing automation that is GDPR compliant. And so, yeah, I just like to bring, if Pavel is there as well, I'd just like to bring everyone on to stage here and just thank you all for being a part of this session. Yeah, I mean, I find it so interesting. Like when I sit here and I think about how if we could combine this stuff into something, then, because what I'm thinking is like I'd want to, because I know that marketing automation requires me to produce content, right? So if I'd collaborate with people to start creating content, I push it into Opinion Hut to start testing it, to get that first interaction going. And then I use the marketing automation to start like pushing it out and seeing whether or not this returns the revenue that I want it to. Then I'll have my own ecosystem in there to create the content faster and also get that kind of response that I need in order to grow the business. So a bit of a fortunate grouping of people here that sparks ideas into my head on how to actually drive growth faster. And I hope that some of you guys who are watching now as well get some serious ideas on how to merge this. And I find that both of the marketing automation tools that we've listened to today, or that we've seen today, have their own benefits. So I know that we have clients that will suit one of them and other clients who will suit the other. And I think that that's how we should recognize this. We should always have a short list where we go and compare to get the exact stuff that is appropriate for the problem that we're trying to solve. So once again, thanks everyone who joined, and everyone who's been watching. And now we have one person who says, thanks, Guy, very interesting to listen in. Have a great weekend. And yeah, let's end with that. Let's everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the comments.
Thanks for bringing us in.
Everyone.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.